It's time for a bit of Bulletproof Book Club. That's how we roll. We're going to give people a few minutes to join the scope. I can see Yummy Lad is here. Good evening to you. I can't see who joined before that. I think it might have been Nina. I've just put this out on Facebook and Twitter as well, so hopefully some of the usual kind of Bulletproof group will be here. While we're waiting for everybody to join, if you're new to this, by the way, Archie's here. Good evening to you, Archie. Hope you're good, man. Jadie's here as well. Yes, it is Nina. Nina, you were first on then. Bang, straight away. Nina's here. Viola's here. Good evening, Viola. Look at all us saddos. None of us going out on a Friday night. What's going on there? If you are new to this scope, then put new. Type new in for me. Tell me where you're from. It's always interesting at the start of these to see where people are viewing from. Hey Ross, how you are? I am Archie. Thank you very much for asking. It's been another crazily busy week, but we're getting there. New Liverpool. Good to see you. For those who don't know me, evening Gemma. My name's Ross. I'm an actor and a voiceover artist from Manchester here in the UK, and I am also fascinated with mindset and positivity, motivation, and kind of productivity, and really just kind of what makes people win at life. Warburton is magic. Warburton what? Warburton's bread or the place Warburton? Clarify on that. So I'm doing these scopes every night I committed 30 nights to doing this. This is night 27, guys. This is crazy, isn't it? So I think we were just talking on the Facebook group before. If you're not a member, if you're an actor and you're not a member of our Facebook group, get yourself over to facebook.com/groups/Bulletproof Actor and request to join. I'm just talking to Nina and Kim. I don't think I've seen Kim's name pop up yet. Kim, where are you? Boomba's here. Kim and Nina were saying they've been on nearly every single one, about 25 out of the 27 nights. Someone's happy with Warburton. Blue Nose is happy with Warburton. He's magic. Good. I'm happy that you're happy though with that. Girly Whirly's here, Riley's here, Steve's here. So good evening to everybody. So what we do on a Friday is it's book club time, isn't it? But it's not Saddo's book club. We're not reading like 50 Shades of Grey or anything like that. Not that that's sad. We're reading books that are going to take our careers and our lives further, faster, I hope. Chris Stone Films is joining us live from Marseille. Good evening to you, Christophe. Hope you are good, man. I've seen the pictures you've been putting on Twitter today of the film Year of Spies. If you get yourself over to yearofspies.com as well after this, check out Chris's films. I happen to be in one, which is always nice. We're looking at this book this week, guys. This is like the fourth and the last scope that we're doing on Greg's book. Rob Flack's here, good evening. It's called Essentialism by Greg McKeown. And effectively what it does is it teaches people how to drop all the nonsense in their lives that's stopping them from really actually getting anywhere, fast, basically. They're putting all their efforts into 10, 15 things and making a millimetre of progress on each one, when really they could be figuring out what's essential. And then, saw them too, you little superstar. What were you talking about, Nina? I can't remember. Hopefully you referred to me as a superstar. That's lovely. Oh, the Twitter post. That's what you're talking about. Chris's Twitter post. Yeah, not quite a superstar yet, but on the way up and coming. So Greg's book, teaches us. I always show this little diagram at the beginning, just for those who haven't been with us from the start. And it's this. Greg teaches us basically that this is how most people run their lives. And they run their lives by putting all their effort into lots of different things and making such tiny amounts of progress on each one. Whereas really, if they were an essentialist, which is what Greg teaches people to do, they have a priority in their life. Not priorities, but a priority. And they put all their effort into that, and obviously can get a lot further. It's a little bit more complex than that, but that's the general kind of gist on it. Michael, Michelle, it's my eyes. I thought you did Michael. Michelle, good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. So we're looking at Greg's book tonight, and I'm going to read you guys. I've just been reading chapter 5 today. I'm probably about halfway through the book, and this chapter resonated with me particularly because I think a lot of people make themselves too available. Okay, and this chapter's titled Escape, the Perks of Being Unavailable. So give me some hearts, or give me some yeses, or just comment if you reckon in your life you maybe make yourself a little bit too available. so that people think they can rely on you for anything. They can ask you favors, you know, all day, every day. You know, you are always just kind of like, you know, oh, well, they'll always say yes, so I'll just, you know I can always just ask them. You know, people don't really appreciate you necessarily as much when you are like that. So yeah, give me some yeses if you think you are maybe a little bit too available, and we're going to look at the perks tonight of being unavailable. Well, we are through Greg's book anyway, and I'm going to read you a few examples. Always, I'm a people person. Nina, this is an area I struggle with as well, so much, because I have a fear of letting people down, and I have a fear of missing out. And they sometimes make me say yes to things that I don't want to say yes to. Today, I had a little bit of a breakthrough. So as part of a contract I have with someone I work with, I was managing a company's social media account. I've got all my own stuff going on, and I was really taking my eye off the ball. And today I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to, is it essential? Is it the highest point of contribution towards my current goal, which is getting Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success out, which is my mindset course that's coming out later this month. Managing someone else's social media platform, even if I'm getting paid for it, was not my highest point of contribution. I gracefully ejected myself from that situation and said no to them in order to say yes to myself. And they accepted it brilliantly. Like, almost like, yeah, totally fine, not a problem. Whereas me, as a people person, Nina, was thinking, oh my God, they're going to hate me. They're really going to hate me. I can't tell them no. Got the guts up to say no in order to say yes to me and my life. And they were like, fine, yeah, not a problem. And I'm like, wow, like, I wasn't expecting that. And maybe if I just did that a little more often, everyone's reaction would be like that. So let's have a look. I'm going to read you. It's Jackanory time again. I hope you've got like a cocoa or hot chocolate or something. I've got a coffee again tonight, but it's only because it's Friday night and I can stay up late. It's not a school night. Not that I go to school, by the way, everybody. I am 33, so I have left school. Here we go. So I'm going to read you this, okay? Greg always uses a lot of anecdotes from his personal experience and people that he's coached, by the way. So we'll hear names of people that you've never heard of, but their experiences are very similar to yours, I imagine. So it says, Frank O'Brien is the founder of Conversations. That's a marketing services company based in New York that's been named on the list of America's fastest growing private companies. In response to the frenetic pace of today's workplace, Frank has initiated a radical practice. Okay, once a month, he gathers each employee of his 50-person company into a room for a full day. Phones are prohibited, email is outlawed, there is no agenda. Okay, so that's quite crazy. There's no agenda for the day. The purpose of the meeting is simply to escape, to think and to talk. Mind you, he doesn't hold this meeting on the middle Friday of the month when productivity might be sluggish and people aren't in any real work, getting any real work done. He holds this day-long meeting on the first Monday of the month. So this is to get people focused for the month. The practice isn't just an internet discipline, an internal discipline either. Even his clients know not to expect a response on this do not call Monday. He does this because he knows his people can't figure out what is essential if they're constantly on call. They need space to figure out what really matters. He wrote, I think it's critical to set aside time to take a breath, look around and think. You need that level of clarity in order to innovate and grow. Furthermore, he uses the meeting as a litmus test to alert him if employees are spending too much time on the non-essential. If someone can't make the meeting because of too much going on, then that tells me either we're doing something inefficiently or we need to hire more people. If his people are too busy to think, then they're too busy, period. So do you ever have those periods of time in your life where you're like, someone go, how's it going? You go, oh, it's going all right, but you know what? I'm just too busy. I can't even think. I can't even think straight because you've got so much going on. Well, we need to start working out what amongst all that stuff that's going on is actually essential and what is the fluff that we need to cut out. So Greg says we need space to escape in order to discern the essential few from the trivial many. Unfortunately, in our time-starved era, we don't get that space by default, only by design. So you're only going to get this space if you schedule that into your calendar, because by default we just don't have it in our lives these days. One leader Greg worked with admitted staying with a company 5 years too long. Why? Because he was so busy in the company, he didn't take time to decide whether he should be with the company. The demands of each day kept him from really stepping back to get perspective. So I spent oh God, at least 5 years in a job too long. When I worked in retail like 10 years ago, I was in a job that was just, I hated. But I was going, I need to do this for a lot of limiting beliefs that were in my mind, why I need to stay there in order to earn money, in order to carry on with my acting career and, you know, support myself. They were so limiting though, but it was also a matter of going, well, I'm so enthralled in that 40-hour-a-week work that I was doing. I couldn't take time out to just step back and go, Ross, what on earth are you thinking? You're putting 40 hours a week into something that you hate, expecting to actually, you know, get something out of it and be successful in the thing that you want to be successful in. So Greg says, before we can evaluate what is and isn't essential, you first need to explore your options. While non-essentialists automatically react to the latest idea, jump on the latest opportunity, or respond to the latest email, essentialists choose to create the space to explore and ponder. So there's a bit of an irony here in terms of, I think, what people sometimes will think an essentialist is, because they'll go, an essentialist, oh well, they just do the one thing that's essential and they forget everything else, so therefore they mustn't really explore very much or experience very much. We're going to look at in a minute actually how essentialists explore way more than non-essentialists. So they actually look at all the options before committing to one, as opposed to just having things coming in and reacting to them on the bounce all the time. So a non-essentialist is too busy to think about life. An essentialist creates space to escape and explore life. So we're going to look at how important it is to escape, and I want you guys to tell me if you actually ever do get a chance to escape. So it says here, in order to have focus, we need to escape to focus. Give me some hearts or some comments if you get that, or if you think that maybe you don't escape enough in order to actually get your focus, because I know I'm guilty of that. I really am, definitely. I spend a lot of time in front of the computer, obviously, running the websites that I run. You know, I'm very busy in my life, and I pack my schedule, pack it out big time, and then I often I don't step back to really escape. I might give myself 5 minutes whilst I'm cleaning my teeth in the morning, but I'm not escaping. There's a million things running around my mind. You know, I'm never really stepping back to assess if what I'm doing is my highest point of contribution in order to achieve my goal. So Greg says, it seems obvious, but when did you last take time out of your busy day simply to sit and think? And I want you to tell me if you've done this or if you haven't done this. I don't mean the 5 minutes during your morning commute you spent composing the day's to-do list, or the meeting you spent zoned out reflecting on how to approach another project you were working on. Mindfulness, Gemma Green. Yes, I didn't see if any other comments came up before that, if that was a response to something. It says, I'm talking about deliberately setting aside distraction-free time in a distraction-free space to do absolutely nothing other than to think. Has anyone ever done that, first of all? Have you ever literally just taken yourself away, whether it's an hour, a day, a weekend, or even a week, to somewhere that's, you know, you can really disconnect? I've never done it, but all the people I see, I follow some like super successful people, they all do it. I escape in the gym only thinking about working out and getting to the end of my workout. This is interesting, Nina, because I have workouts where I do that and I enjoy the process of the workout then. I also have other workouts where I'm so conscious of what I've got to do after the gym that I don't enjoy the process of actually working out. Hitesh, my man, is in the house. I don't enjoy the process of the workout, and that's really important as well, because you need to appreciate that the workout itself, it's not just for the end result in terms of, you know, you're going to look better or you're going to have bigger muscles or whatever. I can't help but do that. It's actually about the process as well, and the struggle in the gym, and the fact that you can take note of whether you're lifting more weight than last week, whether you're running faster than last week. Every morning, Little Happy Fox says half an hour of meditation and focusing on your goals and plans. Absolutely, morning ritual, and we're going to go over this in another scope. We'll do this at some point next week, but your morning ritual, and this is something that I started tweaking about a year ago, it's massively important, and if you can do it every day the same, it really sets you up. I rush all the time, always thinking about the next jobs to do. Yeah, so that's it, girly whirly. We don't actually enjoy the jobs then, do we? We don't enjoy the wins. We spoke yesterday about motivation and 10 really quick kind of hacks in order to get motivation within 10 minutes, and one of them was celebrating the little wins. Or, you know, getting a small win done on your to-do list for the day, which might be literally, if you need some momentum, I just need to pay a bill, or I need to do something that was on the back burner to give myself a feeling of motivation that I'm moving forward. Matthew, good evening to you. So we need to celebrate the wins, and if we're not, and we're thinking about the next thing, we don't get a chance to do that. There's always a danger of overthinking stuff. Keep it simple. We all overthink stuff in life, Nina. Like, literally, full stop, all the time. At last, got it to work, lol. Evening all. Oh, you're in, Kim. You've not been in yet. Okay, so we're talking about, for anyone who's just joining now, we're talking about Greg McKeown's book, Essentialism, and we're talking about the importance of escape in terms of actually, you know, sometimes it's not productive. You'll hit a plateau when you're working to a point where you can actually kind of like overwork, where it's not productive to work any harder. It's actually more productive to escape, literally just to think, to a distraction-free zone where you can just think and get on with stuff, so that you know, you're not just head in the sand, busy doing one thing to the next, and it might not actually end up being the highest point of contribution to get to your goal. Periscope has been a pain tonight, Kim. Well, hopefully it's all right now. So it says, this is of course, so in terms of getting to a distraction-free zone and spending time out just to think, Greg says, this is of course more difficult today than ever in our gadget-filled, overstimulated world. Quite ironic that we're doing this on a Periscope, isn't it? One leader at Twitter once asked me, can you remember what it was like to be bored? This is a really interesting question. It doesn't happen anymore. He's right. Just a few years ago, if you were stuck in an airport waiting for a delayed flight or in the waiting room of a doctor's surgery, you probably just sat there staring into space feeling bored. Today, everyone waiting around an airport or a waiting room is glued to their technology tool of choice. Of course, nobody likes to be bored, but by abolishing any chance of being bored, we've also lost the time we used to have to think and process. Can anyone remember, and don't say on this scope, I know there'll be some witty remarks, can anyone remember the last time they were actually bored? Remember when you were a kid in the summer holidays and your mum said, what's up? You know, mum would go, oh, what's up with you? And you go, oh, mum, I'm bored. I'm just so bored. There's nothing to do. When was the last time you caught yourself saying that? Because I can't remember, because I don't think there's ever been a time where we allow ourselves, because we're so hyper connected to everything, to get bored. Therefore, we're always thinking, and we never, we never take any time to step back and, you know, think of the bigger picture, disconnect, take a bit of time out. If you've been bored, let me know. About 10 years ago, says Kim. It is, that's like that. I reckon unless, I don't even know if kids are bored these days in the summer holidays, because they'll just be on the Xbox or the PlayStation. They're connected to the internet as much as me and you are as adults. So I can't remember the last time that I ever said I'm bored, and that's like a really big thing growing up, because you would go and find things to do then. And you'd be a lot more creative, wouldn't you? You know, your imagination would run wild with you. And you'd go out with your mates as boys, little boys, we'd go out, and, you know, we didn't have computer games that much. So we would go out and we'd play army, or we'd make up a chase game or something, because our minds were allowed to explore, as opposed to going, I'll never get bored because I've just got this electronic device and this electronic device and this electronic device. Greg says, here's another paradox. The faster and busier things get, the more we need to build thinking time into our schedule. And the noisier things get, the more we need to build quiet reflection spaces in which we can truly focus. No matter how busy you think you are, you can carve time and space to think out of your workday. Jeff Weiner, the CEO of LinkedIn, I'm sure you've all heard of LinkedIn, you probably use that. Always lethal to say in my ass because you end up doing chores. Okay, Kim, there is that. So Jeff Weiner, the CEO of LinkedIn, like I say, I'm sure you've all used LinkedIn, he schedules up to 2 hours of blank space on his calendar every day. Okay, most people will probably be lucky to do this every week. He divides them into 30-minute increments, yet he schedules nothing. It's a simple practice he developed when back-to-back meetings left him with little time to process what was going on around him. At first it felt like an indulgence, he said, a waste of time, but eventually he found it to be the single most valuable productivity tool. He sees it as a primary way he can ensure he is in charge of his own day instead of being at the mercy of it. So do you relate to that? Give me some yeses or give me some hearts if you relate to that. Do you feel at the mercy of your own day, like you actually are serving, you know, the day as opposed to the day serving you? Because I feel like that sometimes, definitely, absolutely hold my hands up. You know, my schedule gets so jam-packed that I'm like, yep, feel like that. And I find, you know, it's interesting that it says that Jeff puts that 2 hours of blank space in his calendar every day. Who uses a digital calendar? Give me some yeses if you use a digital calendar, or whether you write it out. I would recommend digital now. I used to like writing things out, but I love the way I can make edits on my computer at home and they appear on my phone or they appear on my iPad. Do you use a digital calendar? And if you do you only schedule into your calendar work or things that you've got where you've got to be at a certain time? Do you ever schedule in your calendar blank space to escape and think and relax, you know, and just turn off? Not every day, but some days I do both written and digital. I think written's great for journaling, in terms of if you're writing a journal and you want to write like a gratitude journal like we talked about a lot, or a journal of wins, because I think there's something quite nice about writing something down that's positive, you know, that's an accomplishment. But in terms of just efficiency, I love the, you know, digital calendars. I just use iCal on my Mac and my iPhone and my iPad. With Google Calendar I've started using as well for a few things. That's really cool, and it's free, so you can all use that. But it's interesting that he schedules it into his day, and I've heard this and I've read a lot of biographies from a lot of big CEOs of massive companies. They all credit getting stuff done to it being scheduled. If you don't schedule it, it doesn't get done, even if it's taking time off. Okay, so think about that and schedule your time off. Armstrong is here. Good evening to you. Armstrong, we're talking tonight about a book called Essentialism by Jeff McKeown, and it's all about getting stuff done, basically dropping all the nonsense out of your life and looking at what's essential and winning back your day, as opposed to the day completely ruling you and other people ruling you and you saying yes to everybody in life and you're actually saying no to yourself. So we're just reading a little bit, reading a few excerpts of this. So we just talked about Jeff, the CEO of LinkedIn, scheduling blank space into his day because he says it's the most productive tool that he's got in terms of getting stuff done, that he just needs time to think. It then says in this space, he's able to think about the essential questions. What the company will look like in 3 to 5 years, what's the best way to improve an already popular product or address an unmet customer need, how to widen a competitive advantage or close a competitive gap. He also uses the space he creates to recharge himself emotionally, and for me that's the biggest thing, without a doubt. If I feel good and I don't feel drained, then I can get on with my work and I'm the most productive I can be. This allows him to shift between problem-solving mode and the coaching mode expected of him as a leader. So I know this all talks about business, and I know there's a lot of actors on this scope. I'm an actor myself, and we call this Bulletproof Book Club because of Bulletproof Actor, which is a mindset course that I'm bringing out later this month. Just plug that. But yeah, you know, you can apply this business stuff to your business as an actor as well. You know, if you can't take time out to actually kind of be creative and explore ways of which you can enhance your own career, get more creative, do more stuff. I'm sure Chris, if you're still on the scope, Chris Stone, you probably need this time as a director as well. I know you sit there, Chris writes a lot of scripts, and he'll sit there, which I find is really interesting, he'll sit there with a soundtrack on to a script that he's got a composer in Europe who will compose himself, who will compose some soundtracks for Chris's films before they've even been filmed. Chris sits in a space completely disconnected just with that soundtrack on to a script that he hasn't written yet, and then you know, that's kind of puts him in that mode where he can disconnect. How much longer until we get BPA? Kim, I'm bringing it to you as fast as I can. It's getting bigger and bigger. What I think I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up doing a private launch to the Facebook group. If you're not part of the group, by the way, guys, and you're watching this on the replay, come to facebook.com/groups/Bulletproof Actor. And then what I'll do is I'll do a public launch of it in January, because I need it. I don't need it to be perfect, because if you try and make something perfect, you never release it. But I need it to deliver on exactly what I said I wanted to deliver on, and I've got some awesome stuff. It's all written now. I just need to film it, but I don't want to rush it, because I want to deliver to you guys the best possible stuff. So it means if it does get delayed, you just get more scopes like this for free, so don't worry about it. But I'm going to be updating people on that very, very soon. So we're nearly at the end of this chapter, guys. Just got a little bit more, a few more examples of other really high performance people who need this scheduled time to actually escape. It says we can take further inspiration from the example of Bill Gates. We all know who Bill Gates is, the CEO of Microsoft. He takes, and famously takes as well, people who will read about him know he does this, takes a regular week off from his daily duties at Microsoft simply to think and read. So all he does is think and reads. Since I've started doing, I mean, I've been reading books for, consciously, as in terms of going, I've got to read 2 books a month for about a year. Who reads here just like non-fiction? So who reads anything with its personal development? Or it can be fiction, it doesn't matter. That's still an escape, isn't it? You know, it's still valid. If you regularly schedule time to read books, let me know, because I think this is a really important part of expanding your mind. So it says here, this kind of ritual that Bill, every day Nina reads. Wow. So Bill, his think week, I read everything and anything, says Kim. Awesome, as long as you're reading articles and things that I publish, that's good. So Bill's ritual, it goes back all the way to the 1980s, and it's stuck with him through to the height of Microsoft's expansion. Girly whirly, yes, as often as possible. I love it. I absolutely love reading. In other words, twice a year, during the busiest and most frenetic times in Microsoft's history, Bill has still created time and space to seclude himself for a week and do nothing but read articles. Viola, yes, plays mainly. Plays are cool, that's a good escape. So he stays for a week and does nothing but read articles. His record is 112 articles in a week. See if you can beat that. He reads books, studies technology, and thinks about the bigger picture. So if Bill can do it, you know, and Jeff and the CEOs of massive, massive corporations and companies, I don't think any of us have an excuse not to be able to take some time to disconnect. He says whether you can invest 2 hours a day, 2 weeks a year, or even just 15 minutes, or even 5 minutes every morning, it's important to make space to escape in your busy life. So I wanted to look at this chapter on a Friday night coming into the weekend, because I think I read at least one act on this article every day. I'm slowly working my way through it. Awesome. Get yourself over to actsonthis.tv, actors. It's a website that I run if you are an actor. Read the articles there, they're great. They're not just written by me, they're written by guest authors from all over the place. But yeah, you know, I think coming up to the weekend, we've got an opportunity now, Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be a bit easier for people probably to schedule in, whether it's like 5 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, or a day, in order to escape and really just think of the bigger picture as a whole. It's not thinking about your to-do list or thinking about what you've got to get done. It's thinking about the bigger picture, your bigger focus, your goals, really where your dreams lie, where you really want to be focusing your energy right now. And if you write down write down 2 lists. Write down a list of what you want, a list of what you're doing, and see if they correlate. You know, see if there's any direct correlations between actually what you really want and what you are doing this weekend. And if there isn't, reassess stuff and go, what can I drop to become more of an essentialist than this non-essentialist that I'm being? You know, what are these false emergencies that I'm putting into my life that don't need to be here? We bring about a lot of false emergencies, and people, tell me if you experience this, people put a lot of false emergencies on us. So people find out they've got something to do, for example, and they know it's important, but they might go, oh, it's not for a month, so that's fine. Instead of doing it whilst it's important, they wait for it to become urgent. And then what they end up doing is they end up going, oh my goodness, I need help. I need to ring Nina, or I need to ring Kim, or I need to ring Chris or Ross or whoever to get help with this. And they're putting a false emergency that never needed to be an emergency. It wasn't a true emergency on you, because they didn't do that important thing just when it was important. They waited until it was urgent, and then they went, oh well, you know, I'll put this on other people and I'll take their mind off their game, which isn't fair. So think about that if people are doing that in your life, and you don't always have to say yes. Don't say yes if it means saying no to yourself. So let me know how many minutes or what you're going to schedule into your weekend now to escape. Oh, I know that feeling well, says Kim. Definitely, I used to know it really well until I started, and as I say, I'm still learning. I did it once today to graciously say no to people, and the reaction was great. They were like, fine, yeah, totally cool, which is nice. I wasn't expecting it, and I'm gonna go into things with an expectation of that response from now on, as opposed to a response of them being angry at me and going, oh, why aren't you doing that for me? People, take it quite well if you say no, if you do it graciously. So tell me how many minutes, type a number in, or hours or days, whatever you're going to try and escape. Garden. I garden so as not to think. Do you mean you go in the garden girly whirly to escape, or I garden? Is that like an eye, like an Apple's garden, like an iPhone? I kind of get it. I'm sure you probably go in the garden to escape. It's a good one if you've got a nice garden. Helping a friend paint his house, and I hate painting. Oh, gardening! Gardening, girly. Yeah, gardening's great. Nina, well, decorating can be quite therapeutic, and that's when you see the final result. It's hell when you're doing it, from my experience. But when you see the final result, it's amazing. But that's certainly escape from your kind of like acting career and the everyday work of that. It might be nice whilst you're painting to be thinking about the bigger picture. That's a task that doesn't require too much focus, I guess, if it's a big wall and you're just rolling with paint. But I'm definitely going to try it without a doubt. I always get a bit of an escape on a Sunday when I do a half marathon every Sunday, a bit of a run. It's something that I've done for the last year now, and it's a big part of my life. I get a lot of thinking done on my run. It takes about 2 hours, and that for me is an amazing escape. I love it. I escape doing my art. Yeah, wicked. I mean, anything like that. Because sometimes I think we can get too focused as in whatever career we're in. As an actor, sometimes I can get a little bit indulgent and obsessed with my acting career, and you know, feeling like, oh, I've not had a job for a bit, so I'm falling behind the pack. I need to get this part, you know, and really, and then I feel guilty when I do disconnect and I go, I'm just going to watch a film. I should be working on my BAFTA speech. Nice one, Nina. But yeah, I feel a bit guilty sometimes when I go, oh, I'm watching this and I'm enjoying it. I shouldn't be enjoying myself. I should be working. I could be writing an article, or I could be, you know, doing something else for my business. And that's not healthy. We need time to disconnect completely to figure out if those things that we are feeling guilty about really need to be done. Are they really the highest contributing, you know, factor to our goal? And if they're not, why are we doing it? Let's reassess and do something else. So that's the message for tonight, and it's also the last time we're going to be speaking specifically about Greg's book. If you've not got this book, guys, I would still recommend it massively. I'm halfway through it. It's totally changing the way I think about stuff. I had a breakthrough today because I did say no to somebody in order to say yes to myself, which was a bit of a breakthrough, and it all went really great. It was fine. So start saying yes more to yourself, say no to other people, and you get this book on Amazon. If you're watching the replay of this on actonthis.tv, you will see below the video player, you'll see a link to Amazon to buy the book as well, so it's nice and easy for you guys. If you are watching the replay, thanks for turning up as well. Really appreciate you. But thanks, guys, Nina and Kim and everyone else who's been turning up every night for these. It's amazing. You guys are brilliant. We've got 3 nights left, and then what we're going to do, I've done a little schedule. We're going to do Book Club Friday, every Friday, okay, moving forward. We're going to do something on a Wednesday and something on a Monday. So it looks like we're going to do Monday, Wednesday and Friday on the scopes moving forward, as opposed to every night. But we've still got 3 consecutive nights left. This is only night 27 of 30. So we've got, you know, a few days left yet. And then moving on from there, we'll still be scoping at least 3 times a week. And I might start doing some little random ones through the day that aren't quite as set up as this. They might be when I'm out and about, or in a job, or at an audition, or just whatever. Can we have a rap party? Well, we definitely can, Nina. It's going to be online, but bring your coffee. Definitely. So when will it be? So it's going to be Saturday night, Sunday night. So it's going to be Monday, isn't it? Monday night is going to be our last consecutive scope, but then it's only really a day off, and we'll be back on Wednesday. And then we'll have a day off and we'll be back on Friday. And then we'll have the weekend off, but we'll be back on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So we'll still get to spend plenty of quality time together, guys. Definitely. And also, I've been thinking of this as well. This is in the future. This is something I'm going to do next year. But give me some hearts if you think that this might be something relevant for you and something that you want. I've spoken a lot about how I left my regular retail job like 8 years ago in order to pursue a full-time acting career and voiceover career. It's the best thing I ever did. Obviously it freed up a lot of time that I had to launch businesses online and to kind of, you know, really follow a passion of mine, which was to help other people and coach other people and you know, create websites and communities and that kind of thing. And there's a lot of people who've been thinking about how they can get out of their mundane jobs and you know, stop working for the man and working for themselves. I think I might, because of just people that I've been talking to in terms of in the Facebook group and stuff. If people wanted it, start putting a course together that would show people actually how to create their own online kind of businesses that would fuel the passion of theirs alongside their acting career, so they can earn money doing something that they love, as well as free up loads of time in order to you know, to actually follow a passion of theirs and stop working for the man. Kim says yup. It's something that I would love to teach people, because I realised today that Act On This is nearly 5 years old. Since then I've launched 2 other, so I've got 3 online businesses, and I've learned just a shed load, so much knowledge, and I know I could really help you guys set something up really quickly in order to start earning a recurring revenue. You know, whether, you know, selling, you know, we all have knowledge, we all have that unique gift and that unique piece of knowledge that people will pay for. I've said this on a lot of scopes. If you could rewind 10 years and, you know, have an opportunity to buy the knowledge that you have in your head now, would you buy that knowledge? Would you pay money for the things you know now? And everyone I meet, when I get to think about it, they can all think of something. Whether, Kim, you know, you said you do art, you know, Nina, I don't know what your job was before you got into acting, but, you know, people will have skills that other people are prepared to pay for, and they can coach people online and show people how to do that, and do that through online webinars and things like this, and courses and video, all that sort of stuff. And I would absolutely love to do that. You need to set a business up that builds websites. I need one. First customer. Well, I do build websites for people actually, but it's something that's something for me as an essentialist that I sort of started phasing out, because that isn't a passion of mine. Building a website for somebody else and then maintaining it. What a passion of mine would be is to teach you how to build your own website and then you maintain it. When I started out in web development, in terms of launching apps on this and VOfocus.com and BulletproofActor.com, which I'm launching, I knew nothing about web design at all. I haven't been to university to do it. I've done no courses. I've got no official qualifications on it. I just sat down at what I call YouTube University and started watching tutorials on YouTube about various things all over the place and started putting little things together and gradually built through trial and error. I now know that I could teach you guys to do all of that in a very, very short space of time if you guys were prepared to invest in it and invest in yourselves, you know, and we could work together on another product once I brought Bulletproof Actor out. But I just think it's a way of empowering actors to get out of the shitty jobs that they hate, that they don't get appreciated for, and actually run a business where they could do online courses for themselves, or they could create communities for themselves on an area and a topic that they're passionate about, and earn money from it that's going to support them and enable them to free up those 40 hours a week spent working for some retail guy or whatever. They could work for themselves, earn some money that's going to help them, you know, in their acting career, and you know, and also follow a passion. Acting for me will never be enough on its own. I'll always need something else. It's something that I love, but it will never be enough. This is something that fills me up, the other half of me, I guess. So it's just interesting. If you've got any thoughts on that, tweet me. It's at Ross A. Grant, or leave some thoughts in the Bulletproof Actor group. But that's something that for next year, maybe we shall set up and help people create lifestyle businesses where they're working for themselves and, you know, creating an audience and a tribe, and, you know, and having success online in order to free up a lot of time for them and focus on the areas of their life that are essential, that we've just been talking about in the book, the essential stuff. So that would be wicked, but I just thought I'd put that out there just as a little test, but that's something that I'm definitely thinking about. So thanks so much for watching tonight. I'll be back tomorrow night, 10 PM. We won't be talking about Greg's book. We've done all a book club for this week, and we're going to be talking about something completely different. I don't even know what it is yet. I'm going to decide. If you've got any suggestions, put them in the Facebook group, tweet me at Ross A. Grant. If you're an actor watching this, whether you're watching live and you've not been here before, or you're on a replay, then I'm launching a mindset course that's going to 10 times your productivity, 10 times your motivation, 10 times your confidence, and give you the life story that you deserve in order to kind of live an empowering, limitless life. If you're interested in that, get to bulletproofactor.com, leave your email address, watch the promo video, and I will keep you updated on that. That's it, guys. Until tomorrow, have a fantastic evening, what is left of it. It's nearly 20 to 11, depending on where you are in the world. It's 20 to 11 here in the UK. I've got a little bit more work to do, but I've got a full coffee, and I'm off. Good luck turning off tonight. Hey, I did it all right last night, Kim. I always struggle with this a little bit, because when you pull this down, oh, look at that first time tonight. I've got the button up. You have to swipe it down in order to start the broadcast, and sometimes it brings down all your iPhone notifications and you just get completely lost. But until tomorrow, guys, thanks so much for watching. Really massively appreciate you.